wife. And so I'd like to invite Evan to say a few words, please.
Yeah, I've said hello and welcome. I'm now saying goodbye, but I'd like to say a few words before I go. You couldn't get anybody better than David to take up. Well, I will, as Dr. Barmer said, take the message home to Anne, and I'll be seeing her in an hour and a half's time. So even a man like me will be able to remember what I'm supposed to say for an hour and a half later. Tomorrow maybe I've forgotten. I haven't seen how I'm told at home, all my faults. What I wanted to say really is, you've heard the words already, it needs to be a coordinated campaign. And you've not only got to get the support of people like David, who obviously knows an awful lot about the problems that you're facing, but you need to get through to members of Parliament like me, who has little or no knowledge of it. And as I mentioned at the beginning, had I not had acupuncture that cured a problem I thought I was never going to get rid of, I would have been sceptical, and I'm no longer sceptical. But so you've got to get home to MPs who've probably not even had the tiny experience that I've had. And the best way to do it is to work through an all-party group. But you've got to get the technique right and the methods right to convince members of Parliament. You don't have to convince them of the benefits of your professional practice, because all MPs that I meet right across the party's political spectrum, and David and I are not on the same side of the house, all MPs get their satisfaction out of serving their constituents. So it's really important, and it doesn't matter whether they agree with it. I get people come to see me with, I won't have anything to do with people who've got views of the National Front or the BNP, of course, but I don't always agree with my constituents, but it's my duty to serve them and to get it's my duty to get their views into Parliament. So you've got to get the right strategy to convince them that you will be able to work with David. I'll be a supporter of yours, but I'm a supporter of David's. But I think it must be a coordinated campaign. Can I say, I think from my knowledge of my wife's experience as a health minister, that it's, and I hope there aren't too many civil servants in the room, but it's often the civil service that puts the barriers up there. The civil servants tend not to want to change things, and ministers often have to battle to get civil servants to change. I'm not talking about individual civil servants, but the civil service as a whole. So that's the task that you've got. I'll do what I can to help you. I'll support David in his efforts, and I'm fascinated by what you do and what you need to achieve. So I'll say, good night. I'm sorry to say at such an early point. I'd love to stay and listen, but that's my tip on strategy for you, to get to your own MPs, but do it through an all-party group, so you've got the same strategy, and you will be listened to. MPs, we are. And we don't believe a word MPs say nowadays, but I promise you that MPs do care about their constituents. We get the most satisfaction out of looking after our own constituents. So you've got to understand that and approach your own, but please do it in a coordinated manner with a coordinated strategy and message. And I'm convinced that you will succeed. So I'm sorry I've got to go as quickly as this, but I will take the message back to one of the health ministers.